Please.
Dismiss Senator Natasha, please, you are not recognized to speak from there. That is the order of the Senate.
Sir, order 10 on privileges.
Hello, welcome to another amazing video. If this is the first time coming across this channel and you like what happens here, then go ahead and click on that subscribe button. Also turn on your post notification bell so that you get notified whenever we post videos on this channel. On this channel, we do not promote hate speech, we do not promote violence, we only bring credible information that will benefit members of the public. I want to use this opportunity, I want to use this medium to appreciate YouTube for creating such an amazing avenue that helps us bring information, credible information to the members of the public. Now, I came across this video that caught my attention. I want us to watch it together. As you watch, do not forget to like and share.
So, Natasha, please, you are not recognized to speak from there. That is the order of the Senate.
Sir, order 10 on privileges. Order 10 on privileges.
Senator Natasha.
Any senator may rise at any time to speak upon a matter of privilege suddenly arising, and he shall be prepared to move without notice a motion declaring that the content of breach of privilege has been
allowed suspension immediately.
One-woman army. I mean, this woman was strong and fierce, but you know, you guys had a guest earlier who said fortunately she was not suspended, because obviously probably doesn't have the right to suspend her, but the language there was kick her out of the Senate, which, you know, a lot of people were very upset about. And you know that this is not the first time we're seeing this sort of altercation between the Senate President and Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan. But you know that they have released a lot of different statements, and I'll read some of them as to the reason why the altercation went ahead. And one of the comments that was made from the Senate was non-compliance, breach of Senate rules. 1. Key violation, Section 10. Senators must sit in assigned seats to be recognized for contribution. Section 56(1) allows the Senate President to rule any senator out of order if procedural guidelines are violated. Senator Natasha's refusal to sit in her reassigned seat and attempts to contribute from an unassigned position breached Senate protocol. That's what the Senate is saying. But you know that Natasha had said, her argument was that she was reading from a book. And one of the comments she read from a book was that, you know, Order 10 on privileges. Natasha said, any senator may rise at any time to speak upon a matter of privilege suddenly arising, and he shall be prepared to move without notice a motion declaring that contempt or breach of privilege has been committed, or referring to the matter to the Committee on Ethics and Privileges. But if the matter is raised in Committee of the whole Senate, the chairman shall leave the chair to report progress. I had to help Natasha read that order, that she was refused to read out for the Senate. And we didn't understand why the Senate president just couldn't, you know, exercise a little bit of patience just to listen to her for a bit. But let me just take some comments. I know we have to take the reactions because Nigerians have spoken. This is from Rinu Oduola. She wrote, just 7 months ago, Akpabio insulted Senator Natasha in the chamber, saying the Senate is not a nightclub where anybody can talk anyhow. Today, he asked security to take a democratically elected senator out of the chamber. What does Akpabio have against Natasha Akpoti? Then Flying Scholar wrote, Nigeria has yet to achieve even 15% representation of women in politics, and the few who have been duly elected still face various forms of oppression. Shame on Senate President Akpabio. This is not the first time he has attempted to silence his colleagues, particularly women, in the chamber. Well, another response that, you know, the Senate had, you know, reacted to was that, you know, the adjustment was not singularly targeted at Senator Natasha Akpoti. They wrote clarification. Multiple senators were affected due to party realignment. Traditional Senate protocol. Newer members typically start in back rows and move forward. Senator Natasha's reassignment moved her closer to the front, a positive sign of her growing stature. Well, Rufai, before you speak, because I know that you're ready. In the wake of all that drama, an old video surfaced online showing the then Senator Godswill Akpabio flouting the Senate standing order under the Saraki-led Senate. In the video, Akpabio insisted on speaking even while he was not permitted to speak by the then Senate President, Bukola Saraki. Let's take a look.
You can go to your seat. Then when you get your seat, I will recognize you.
Next to Senator Kwankwaso, until I was led by the sergeant at arms that this is my seat.
I asked I asked the clerk whether he allocated that seat to you. He said he didn't.
He told me he would prefer to sit here. So I said there is no microphone there, but he said he would still prefer to sit there.
If there's been a senator that have allowed to speak without a microphone, state. That's never happened in this chamber. All we said is there's no microphone where you are. Go to a place where there's and you can speak. Now you have the floor. Speak and let us make progress.
All right, that was then Senator Akpabio there. He wasn't even sitting, he was standing and arguing with Bukola Saraki. He was standing, he wasn't even on the chair. They didn't ask exactly. They didn't say walk him out. But let me read another comment from the Senate, and which is backing what Akpabio had flouted at that time. Upholding parliamentary order and decorum. The Senate operates under structure. The Senate's President's decision was lawful, necessary, and aligned with parliamentary norms. The assertion of unfair treatment is unfounded, as Senator Natasha's actions breached the Senate's standing orders. In parliamentary democracy, rules ensure fairness, not individual preference. I mean, look at that. You have been itching. Go ahead. I'm giving you the floor.
I mean, I don't believe in all of these rebuttals by Akpabio's people from his office, from taxpayers' money being paid to them. They are doing their job.
They're doing their job.
What did we see? We saw constant attempts to silence Natasha, which we will not take. And please, for Mr. Akpabio and the likes of his ilk that don't respect women in this country, please remind them that women also fought for this democracy. In case you don't know, you can go and read up on the likes of Gambo Sawaba. Women also got beaten for this democracy. They fought for the nationhood of this country. So we must respect them. Because I've seen a constant attitude. That's why when the senator came here and was trying to defend the indefensible, he did it. In fact, it was because of public outcry, Senator Akpabio had to appeal and apologize to Natasha Akpoti the last time when he said this place is not a beer parlor, it's not a club and things like that. He's done it many times. What's the bone of contention sits here? You can have a tiff as regards sitting positions and all of that. There can be reactions and counter-reaction, but the words uttered by Senator Akpabio by saying, we'll tell the Senator of Arms to take you out. Who told them to take him out when he did his? Oh, we'll suspend you. That's the high-handed nature And that's why I wasn't surprised when the senator came here and says, our father. Who is your father? Our father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Is that it? Is that what the Senate has become? First months ago, she must be given a right to speak. As she was standing on pre-existing privileges, orders, while she was saying it, just like what Akpabio too stood on. At least let her make her points. And the next thing since yesterday, the media office of Akpabio and his cohorts have been in overdrive, spinning all sorts of stories and bringing them out, you know, trying as much as possible. Why are they on the offensive?
Right.
We must give her a chance to speak. He likes it or he doesn't like it. He must learn how to treat women properly. He likes it or he doesn't like it, and we must reiterate it. I'm not saying you can't have a tiff, but the way you handle it is what will make you different here.
Yeah.
And please, for the sake of balance, I also want Natasha Akpoti, if she can grant us this event, to come and state her own side of the year.
Yeah.
Because it is only one side we've heard favoring Senator Akpabio, a Senate coming to speak. Natasha, please, the floor is yours.
The floor is hers.
Come on this show, probably Abuja next week. State your own side of the story.
Right.
We must speak up for women.
Yeah.
And this is ongoing. This has been on for quite a while.
It has.
And enough of it.
It's not the first time. It's not the first time.
Abba.
Yeah, she
down
was
with it.
Very good. She was not allowed to read from the Senate rules book at that point. I mean, I'm getting comments from people saying that at the end of the clip I played before, Akpabio apologized to Saraki. I don't know what difference that made, because he actually was not sitting on his rightful seat, and he was challenging, his lawmakers at the same time, all because of the sitting arrangements. I mean, Ayo.
Besides, the tone and manner in which Senate President Saraki handled that matter was vastly different from his.
From his, yeah?
There was no point at any time where the sergeants of arms were called in to walk him out, or where he was told that he would, and he wasn't given an audience to speak. In fact, he had the opportunity to stand up, and this was what we're trying to drive home. Yes, you can say that, oh, she should have gone to her seat, but she also was trying to establish a point, and that was what I was saying to the Deputy Chief Whip who came earlier today, saying that she wasn't given an opportunity to speak. And that is where there was an evidence of bias there, whether you agree with it or not. That she also talked about how she had been maligned a number of times, where she would raise her hand and she wouldn't be recognized by the Senate. These are the voices of senators speaking out against what they see as discrimination, especially, and I hate to do that, play the female, this woman senator card. We often talk about bringing more women into politics, but when they make you know how she got here. You know how her road was blocked, the fight against the governor, Yahaya Bello, everything that happened. So this is not a woman who got there easily. And then she gets there after fighting, and then she goes through hell trying to establish herself. And people are saying that. In fact, I will see rubbish comments like, doesn't she have a husband? And what has marriage got to do with her business in the Senate? What has the fact that she's a woman got to do with her business in the Senate? So whether we like it or not, there are cultural nuances based on this, with regards to she's a woman, why she behaving like she's new? Doesn't she know how to behave? They say that nice girls don't get the corner office, and this is what Senator Natasha unfortunately has to prove. We've seen it in other parliaments around the world where women had to assert themselves. How many female senators' voices do we hear in this current House of the Senate? I hope that the Senate President would leave a legacy of enabling equity and fairness across board. I can almost bet that if it were someone else, he probably would have been treated with better respect. Yes. And so I think voices, whether you're a woman or man, should rise up in defense. She's a woman, she's a mother, she's a daughter, it could be anyone you know to speak about this. And let me just say as well that when it comes to suspension, during Ali Ndume's case, the judge ruled that it's the people, his constituents, that voted him in. And if you suspend a sitting senator, you deprive that senatorial district from having a voice in the in representation. Right. Because what could happen is that even though they're not suspended, they will seal her office and really intimidate her. We must push against that. Kogi Central deserves to have its voice there, and that voice in the Senate is Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan. Whether you like it or not, she's there to stay, and we are very proud of her.
The lady must be heard.
All right,
the lady must be heard.
Professor Anthony Killer, I actually enjoyed your submission at the end of the news headlines where you talked about decorum, and that is really the crux of the matter, and that's really what needs to be done at the floor of
and
the
that's
Senate.
A very important thing. Let's be very clear. Akpabio is not Saraki. You know, there's a lot of things.
Sub or something.
Oh, it's a statement.
Let's just leave
Akpabio
it.
is not
Throw this sub.
Let's just
throw this sub.
let's just leave that at
I can't
that.
relax, Oji. That's a sub. In fact, I'm speaking for Akpabio now.
But the point here that we need to make, though, is that there's something about Nigerian politicians that they turn one to somebody who goes left and right because they all do odd things, not to use another word. I repeat, there should be less drama and more action than our
more
legislators.
action.
It is wrong. By the way, today is 28th of February. It's 2 weeks to 8th of March. I will advise Akpabio, if his media people are going around, to, from now, order 1,000 mimosas, and on the 8th of March to send it to 1,000 women, 774 from each local government, a bit to Abuja, and a bit to some selected places. That's how I got my 1,000 number. So I've even done the
You've done the math.
the maths and the slotting for him. It is a very dangerous thing to 2025 to be termed as misogynist. You know, it is so archaic, it is so uncool, it is so everything you can think of. And I think whether Akpabio is misogynist or not, if there is a risk that is being perceived as misogynist, he should quickly walk against it. Now, to the women in Senate and in politics general, I think the time has come for them to set themselves a quote-unquote hidden agenda to say, I am going to go into that room and I'm not going to be a bimbo. And I believe they should earn it. And I also think that, this is what I tell my daughters, and I also think that voters, if they care about gender inclusion, if they care about equality, they should punish and reward people who act one way or the other against equality. There should be a bias. There's enough women vote in this country, in the world, to control men.
All right, well said, Professor Anthony Killer, well said.
Thank you so much for watching, and please drop your contribution, drop your opinion in the comment section. Please do it constructively. You know what I mean by that. And do not forget, if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and do that. Like this video and also share. I'll see you in our next video.